Rasheeda was marinated in secret hotel meetings before being given ice cold in front of the whole Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast and cameras. Yep, roll the whole time. For those that have, whether you've been living under a rock or simply emotionally avoiding Kirk's decade-long litany of relationship crimes, keep in mind that this man has been apprehended, exposed, forgiven, and re-exposed more times than Stevie J can count. It's not what it looks like, but this time, there's no arbitrary IG model or ambiguous DMs. This time, the tea was so hot that it burned Rasheeda's entire emotional stability on camera, proving that Kirk Frost did not simply cheat again. He sobbed as he confessed, holding receipts, with Carly Red's name in the dreadful sentence. Allow it to soak in. Carly Red. The same Carly who has alternated between more reality show men than we can count in a full club. The same Carly who once declared, "I'm too real to fake my life." It turns out she, was Rasheeda's husband, was also overly honest. Now let's set up the situation. The producers had envisioned a conventional, slightly dramatic dinner situation. You know, the standard hint of flirtation. Perhaps someone rushes out. Suddenly, they had no idea they were going to capture the decade's most significant love and hip-hop moments. The actors had met at a private bar in Midtown Atlanta. Low lighting, premium beverages, fancy heels hitting the ground, and no indication that Kirk Frost was about to set off a full truth bomb in the heart of your shrimp and grits. Rasheeda looked stunning as always, slick ponytail, beat face, and soothing sentiments. Carly grinned while drinking her cocktail. Perhaps, assuming she was ready to stir up some tiny drama, does not turn into drama. And Kirk Frost sat. He chewed his lip as if he had just read his death certificate. You could feel the tension creeping up his neck. Then an event occurred. It was not intentional. It had not been scripted, it was unprompted. Kirk simply leaned forward, stared Rasheeda straight in the eyes, and "There's something I need to tell you, daughter." When a man who has cheated on you in every season suddenly starts that statement, you know you're in danger. Rasheeda blinked. She presumed it was about some old texts, a conflict with a producer, or, in the worst-case scenario, a fake argument with Scrappy. Nope, Kurt cleared his throat, took a deep breath, and admitted during our break, "I screwed up with someone from Carly was one of the cast members." Play the scratched record. Cue the mouths dropping. The floor. Rasheeda is becoming increasingly quiet. Carly's smile faded more swiftly. Tana side chick during a baby shower. She froze dead silent, her eyes wide as a raccoon caught in an LED floodlight. Spice's bracelets jingled in the background. That's how silent it is become. The producers trembled. Even Boom McMahon leaned up and said, "Wait, this Evan Mona Scott had to put down her mimosa when she viewed the recording," which wasn't in the script. Rasheeda did not yell, throw a drink, or even react. Initially, she was merely sitting. They were digesting, but you could tell the betrayal had occurred. The connection was established. And Kay's predicament was evolving. If you know Rasheeda, you know she has remained devoted to Kirk Frost, despite adultery, disdain, public embarrassment, and that bizarre baby mama plan that no one cherished. But this seemed like the final straw, saturated in gasoline and on fire. Fire. Worst of all, Carly Red refused to contest it. Shay didn't even try the fake. It was only hearsay. She only looked down her glass, as if the ice crystals contained the answers. Rasheeda ultimately stood up, with no words and only one tear. One tear fell down her cheek, like if Bianca had abandoned her in the storm. Then she went out. There are no shoes flying, no screaming, just gone. In the meantime, Carly tried to whisper. Spice replied with a "don't talk to me right now" face. Spice's refusal to comment indicates that you've made a mistake. And Kirk Frost, the guy, sat there like a scorned puppy, his lower lip twitching as he tried to figure out how to spin this in his next confession. Like, "I didn't plan for it to happen. We were exposed." Shut up, boy. You planned for this. You were meant for chaos. Since 2011. And guess what? It was only the beginning. Because what happened next was more than just awkward. Fans encountered a full-fledged cast civil war, DM leaks, burner account controversy, and a dubious spar seat discovered via Twitter. But first, into the drama that occurred the next morning, including what Rasheeda stated in her now-deleted Instagram account, and who Carly sought to blame for it all. We need to talk about what happened backstage when the cameras thought they had halted everything. So, where Akru? Oh yeah, Rasheeda sunk, tears in her eyes, her heart broken, and though the mixture remains as heated as hell. But sweetie, the tea was still simmering backstage. When Rasheeda went out, Producers hurried. Cameras were still rolling. The mix was still on. And somewhere Mona Scott, definitely, cried, "Do not cut." Carly Reed sought to slip into the velvet lounge chair as if it were a portal to 2010. Spice, like Mizzen, was simply throwing her a Jamaican anti-death glare. "Believe you did it, not you." The major twist is that Rasheeda did not come home. No ma'am, she went straight into her green room, closed the door, and allegedly warned producers, "If you don't give me this set, I vow I'll burn it down in a minute." Here's when things become quite hot. According to reports, Rasheeda was pacing. She is in the dressing room and is browsing through her phone. Connecting the links, she pulled out the receipts from both Kirk and Carly. Yep, Rasheeda has been scared of Carly for months. Do you remember the spa getaway episode from episode 3? Carly unexpectedly cancelled, and Kirkfrost explained that he had a business engagement downtown. Sisters spotted identical timestamps on their Instagram stories. Carly posted a selfie wearing a robe. Kirkfrost has uploaded his watch with a glass of champagne. Boom, the math was mathematical. But wait, things worsen. Rasheeda homegirl, who also manages a manicure business at the same spa, provided photos of Carly and Kirkfrost mons.o. Go. They both entered together. Rasheeda did not accept it at the moment. However, following this confession, everything became clear. The DM is then spilt. Oh, yes. Twitter went crazy about a burner account named Letter Expose. They showed images of Kirkfrost and Carly communications, including one that read, "You going to pretend like last night didn't happen? Kirkfrost, son, you were sobbing in my bed about Rasheeda. I don't understand you." Carly Ray, let's all shout together. Are these de-verified? Nope. Do we still trust them? Absolutely. Let's be honest. If you know Carly Red, you'll know that she collects. Receipts look like packed cards. If she hadn't sent these, she could have. Speaking of pandemonium, who else jumped in? Bambi, I'm not one to gossip, but let's just say Carly has been too tight with everyone's partner for too long. Rasheeda sis, I told you years ago. Spice wrote a one-word tweet, Sim, which was more potent. Tana entire monologue. Let's talk about Kirk for a second. Because, while Carly was trying to backpedal, Rasheeda was on the verge of initiating her own private investigation. And Kirkfrost was out here giving interviews to producers, trying to explain his reasoning. We had split up. We lived in a porpoise. I didn't plan it, it just so happened. Carly was available to console me. Sir, you mean to tell me the lady, your wife, Kirkfrost, sought to pass the burden like a weak magician, but Rasheeda and I, however, were not. She didn't hear me. Carly just listened. She did not pay attention. She laid down, and the fans went nuts. Twitter turned into a battlefield. There were memes all around. One image represented Carly's visage as the serpent from the Jungle Book. Another image showed Kirkfrost carrying a most unfaithful spouse trophy with the statement, "He did it again," someone yelled. The comments section under Rasheeda's previous post turned into a therapy session. Sis, get away from this guy already. How many seasons will it take to teach Carly? That is quite low, even for Kirkfrost. Even Joseline Hernandez, I posted a video of the remark, which is why I quit E. That's why I left E. Every year. The same anarchic energy reigns. Don't forget the cast's reaction the next day. Attend a tea manufacturing meeting hosted by the hotel. Rasheeda appeared in full glam, with heels on. There are no tears. She did not speak much. She simply sat across from Carly and gazed. I looked at her for an entire minute. Carly attempted to speak. Rasheeda raised her hand. Don't. Not quite yet. Boom. The vibe was frigid. Meanwhile, Spice Sachi sat between them like a neutral Jamaican queen, drinking tea while wearing sunglasses, like, I'm just waiting for my check. Here is where we uncovered another twist. Carly seemed to have objected to the clip being shown. She allegedly instructed producers to eliminate the section, because it could affect her image and brand. What is your brand, girl? Of course, Mona Scott allegedly added, this is what we pay. Nobody's cutting anything, y'all. This is when Carly began to spiral. She started emailing other cast members in an attempt to evoke empathy and explain her point of view. She informed Bambi, Spice, and even Eric Mena that Kirkfrost had misled her and that she felt Rasheeda had moved on after Kirkfrost said they were done, for good. The real kicker, however, was that she sent a message that implied she was already aware. Kirk Frost notified me that he had her. That is right there. Carly's antics are legendary, and Kirk Frost are both prime examples of cowardice. She had finished. She reportedly packed her belongings and left the hotel early. They returned to their Kirk Frost's Atlanta home was visited without his knowledge. But don't get it wrong, Shua's not hiding. That evening, she went live. No tears, just emotions. She said that loyalty is useless if it only pertains to basic situations. I'm not chatting about anything now, but I can see everything. PH. That is what we call a forceful clapback. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost was the following day. He arrived to the Frost Bistro, looking if he had aged 10 years overnight. Rasheeda is nowhere to be seen, just awkwardly posing with people and avoiding questions about Carly. But, what will happen next? Because, honey, the storm hasn't even begun. What will occur when Rasheeda speaks in public? What happens if she does not attend the reunion? What if Mona Scott reveals additional footage? And get this, a new report has surfaced that Carly is not the only cast member Kirk Frost has been linked with. Yes, we are delving deeper into this video due to the depths of treachery. We haven't even got to the core yet. Please stay tuned. You wouldn't want Toyam going to miss this. Buckle up, because if you thought part 2 was insane, part 3 will send you soaring through siling. So, where exactly were we? Oh yeah, Rasheeda went quiet. Kirk Frost was out here wandering around like a lost middle-aged man at breakfast as Carly Redsis was attempting to do damage control. It was as if she were doing public relations for the devil himself. But honey, this ain't over because the streets in Atlanta were talking. Regarding the hidden lover bombshell, just as fans began to absorb the Carly Red affair, bang! Another name appeared. Kirk Frost had been sneaking with Nur. The producer Shelper has been seen in the background of various scenes throughout the last 3 seasons. And get this, she's 24. Yes, 24. According to sources, Nyla and Kirk Frost were seen snuggling together. Mona Scott hosted an afterparty at a secret location few months ago. According to witnesses, Kirk Frost was touching her thigh, whispering in her ear, and even leaving the party with her in his Tesla. What sort of a midlife crisis is this? Now comes the plot twist. Rasheeda was apparently aware about Nyla previous to the Carly incident. She appears Toy questioned Kirk Frost about it off camera, and he denied it as if his life depended on it. But then this occurred, Kirk's discarded phone. Yes, he still does one that was mysteriously left behind. The Frost Beast rose. One night, a bartender picked it up and observed the backdrop. Nyla took a selfie wearing one of Kirk's chains before returning it to Rasheeda. Imagine Rasheeda, she unlocks her phone, and the first thing she sees is a Gen Z side girl wearing her man's diamonds. I need to take a minute. The reunion is certain to be explosive. No, the V-cast is preparing for the season 13 reunion, and producers have already planned extra security. Rasheeda has not confirmed her presence, but rumors say Mona Scott is doing everything short of donating her mansion to get her on stage. The plan was to have Carly, Red, Kirk, and Rasheeda face-to-face in front of cameras with no editing rights. If Rasheeda does show up, expect explosions. She apparently uses an off-camera probate investigator, preparing for a full-fledged divorce plot next season. She also wants to provide her own set of receipts, audio records, images, and even film from her own home security camera that appears to show Kirk Frost entering without an explanation. Rasheeda has not shown up to play. Spice went on to say, Rasheeda went on Instagram Live for 3 minutes and did nothing but laugh. She has ammunition and will save it for reunion night. We require security, popcorn, and a prayer circle. Carly begins to warm up. Carly Red has gone full scorched earth. After being hauled online, she's turned on the whole cast. She Spice, Bambi, and Eric Mina after Rasheeda was likable. Dubious posting. And then went on Twitter to declare, y'all wrong, so now it's a Misery Loves Company tour. Don't pretend that your men have been faithful either. Carly also appeared on her podcast. Yes, it appears that she now has one. And said, I made a mistake. However, Kirk Frost is an adult. He understood what Ty was doing, and I didn't break anything that hadn't already broken. That comment has a nuclear gaslight level. But it doesn't end there. Carly additionally Rasheeda tweeted an old footage of her ranting at Kirk Frost from season 5 commented, this has been poisoned. Y'all simply upset it's on me now. This isn't damage control. Carly is detonating. Team Rosita began trending. And, let's just say Kirk and Carly have been hauled from Petrie to Buckhead. On Twitter, TikTok is overwhelmed with fans. Edits of her sobbing are accompanied with evangelical music. Fans even started a GoFundMe campaign dubbed Free Rasheeda from Kirk. Meanwhile, Carly attempted to market her skincare brand last week, and the reception was harsh. Does guilt erase betrayal? Girl, exfoliate your principles. Someone even said, you slept with Rasheeda's man and are now attempting to sell eye cream. Girl, go to church. Kirk Frost is hiding. He hasn't posted in days. According to insiders, he is sleeping at a friend's condo in Midtown, avoiding cameras and continuously contacting Rasheeda. But Rasheeda has apparently stopped him from using everything, including Apple Pay. Rasheeda has a revenge plan. But don't think she's merely weeping into her makeup wipes. She's supposedly working with VH1 executives on building a spin-off program dedicated to restoring her tranquility, reorganizing her job, and instructing women on how to avoid garbage guys. Rasheeda's retribution is boss up. And who knows, she might not, according to insiders. She is working with Yandhi Sierra and even Candy Boris for cameo appearances. Kirk Frost is left with only the Frost Bro and staff members allege he seldom enters the house and appears ghostly in the season 13 finale. Allow me to provide a picture of what the creators have planned for the ultimate reunion scene takes place in a cold room. Rasheeda enters with her hair down, clothes smart, and demeanor mysterious. Kirk sits anxiously. Carly sits across from Mona, hands folded, trying to look composed. Scott asks, Rasheeda, do you have anything else to say before we end? Rasheeda simply pulls out an iPad and touches it, plays a voice note of Kirk and Carly, recorded in a hotel room, and Carly's face collapses. Kirk appears to have encountered a ghost, but Rasheeda simply smiles and says, that's precisely what I thought. The scene fades to darkness. Are you all still breathing? Because it was a soap opera, crime. Rasheeda didn't only break down, sis. She also had a therapy session and a documentary. Kirk Frost, the man, risked his entire life for Carly Red and a 24-year-old. You can't make this up. But now the question is, what happens next? Will Rasheeda actually get divorced? Will Carly continue to deceive? Will Kirk Frost ever recover? Or will the entire city of Atlanta believe she is the victim? Will he just start a Frost Bistro side female edition? And let's not even get started on the reunion. If Mona Scott Young knows what she's doing, she aired that program without advertisements, with 360 cameras and a priest in the background. But here's the real scoop. Fam, it's not just about Kirk and our shit. This is about what happens when a woman's loyalty is exploited too much. Your relationship becomes your biggest stop, and the individuals you trust the most are pushing the knife deeper. Now, I would like you to weigh in. Do you think Rasheeda should forgive Kirk Frost again, or is it time for her to step up and leave him in the group chat of regret? Should Carly Red be permanently expelled from the buddy group? Is she simply a role in Kirk's midlife crisis? Drop your ideas in the comments, since this comment area is about to get wilder. If you're as astonished as we are at the reunion, hit the like button so hard that Kirk Frost is thrown another dimension. We're not done dragging, so subscribe. Fake narratives resulted in real life calamities. Turn on the notification. Mona's editing style has made me think of Belle. We may have fresh receipts every 10 minutes. New receipts are generated. This is a mess. This is total chaos. This love season 13 of Hip Hop Atlanta Baby is the final season of Kirk's marriage. We are going to keep an eye on everything. We'll be talking and sipping on everything a single drop. See you at the next exhibition.